So tell me, what do you think about mental health? Is it important or it is just an excuse for employees to have free days?
I think over time my kind of opinion of it's changed. I guess when I was younger, I kind of thought, like, why do people have kind of this struggle? Especially over the last few years, but also with some of the kind of things that have been going on. I find people now, they need that kind of mental break. I've noticed it being at home so much. Like, it's not as easy. Like, I used to be in the office 5 days a week. Now being at home 5 days a week, not having the interaction, there's definitely more kind of challenges, and taking breaks becomes harder and stuff. So I think we just become more aware of what mental health is right now.
Okay. Have you ever had a subordinate with a burnout?
Not while she was working for me. Someone who works for me now, she used to work for a different team, and she had a burnout. Like, she just too much stress, too much kind of going on. She ended up taking I think 3-4 months off to kind of reset herself. She came back. She changed to my team, and now she's very much realized that she knows when to say, like, that's enough. Like, I need to stop, and I need to just kind of take a break. So yeah, definitely I've kind of watched it happen to other people within the organization over the last few years.
So do you try to balance the workload to your subordinates, or you just ask them?
I think it's more of a question of asking them. I mean, the work is what the work is, right? So, the work will go out, people are expected to do it, but I also try to encourage people to kind of say, look, if you are struggling, if you're having, you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to kind of bring it up, and part of that's, so this person her new role now is, she's like a consulting manager for us. Her job is to manage people. And so because she's gone through that experience, she's very good at kind of talking to people and spotting the signs and kind of dealing with it early. And I think that's become like an important thing. Like, in my role, I don't get as much time to kind of spend time with people. So having people who are focused on the well-being of people and just, managing them rather than myself has been a real advantage to that.
So I guess that people just like report to you?
Yeah, so I manage a business selling an organization. So I'm responsible for about 50 or 60 people. Some of them I have maybe like 4 or 5 or so direct reports, and then everyone else reports to people who report up to me. So that helps. And then, we talk about how things are going. We talk about how our employees are doing it, what kind of challenges they're facing. But having dedicated people really helps to kind of spot those kind of issues when they come up.
Okay. Does the company you work for carry out any mental health related activities?
Yeah, so we actually have like a wellness program. So there's a whole kind of health benefit package where you can reach out to professionals if you're having kind of like mental health issues, stress, that kind of stuff. And then our kind of people and culture team, or HR team, regularly organizes events, some to do with mental health, but also to do with things like, recently there was because it was a Women in the Workplace week last week, so they did an event where they talked about that, and they're trying to kind of balance it with different things of how you should manage your time and how you should work, and there's always kind of events going on around that.
Okay, that's nice. What are your energy levels like after a day at work?
Personally, I work a lot. I am one of those people that will be looking at my emails even after I'm done with work. I'm generally pretty good. Like, I found like my balance, so I don't get too tired. Like, there's always good and bad days, but generally I'm pretty good at managing my workload. But it's also kind of the expectation for me as well. Like, I know what I need to kind of do, so if I need help, or if I need to get people to do it, I've got like a big group of people I can kind of get to do work or other things I need to get them done. So.
But you don't feel a lot of pressure, like being like seeing your mail all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of the role though. And I guess maybe that's my personality. I enjoy stress. Like, I enjoy the pressure, and I enjoy the kind of, expectation. So for me, it doesn't stress me out. I'm also one of those people who will, you know, like I don't bottle things up inside. So if I don't like something or if I have something that's stressing me out, I'll go talk to someone.
Okay,
You know,
that's good.
which yeah, and our company is very good at that. Like our company is very open to kind of having conversations. So yeah, for me, it's kind of like I can always de-stress. Like I don't go home at the end of the day and think, okay, all these things are in my head that I can't talk to anyone about. So I think that helps a lot, being able to kind of have conversations and talk about things which are not good or things that you need to kind of help with.
Yeah, of course, to let it go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for me. That's super important because wouldn't like it if I couldn't talk to people.
So, as a VP, I just can imagine the stress that you have to handle daily. What do you do to take care of your mental health?
I think part of it, my role helps in the sense that I have kind of, I control what I do, right? So I have a responsibility, but, I think what our companies kind of taught us is, you don't have to be at your desk all the time, right? Like if you need to go take half an hour break, go for a walk, do that. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll have like a half an hour blocked out on my calendar and I'll just go sit in my living room. I'll just play on my phone. I'll just take a break from work. And I also try to, like, if I have an errand to run or if I have to do something, as long as I kind of plan it with my day, like I block some time out, I can do that. So having the ability to kind of take time out when I need to helps me a lot. I don't do it every day. Like some days I'll work through lunch and that's fine. But I always kind of have the choice if I need to take a break or, and I think that's why I try to tell everyone else is like, look, if you need to take a break, just plan for it, right? Like if you block your calendar for an hour at lunchtime because you want to have a break at lunchtime, put it in there and then no one's going to book your time during that lunchtime, right? That's how you do it. So that's what I was kind of say, like use your calendar, block some time out and take time to go for a walk if that's what you want to do. If you want to sit and read a book, go kind of do whatever you want to. So.
But what if you have a deadline? You're overwhelmed, but you have a deadline too.
I think planning your time. It's one of the first things I kind of teach consultants, like new consultants, time management. Like whenever you have stuff to do, if you plan it out, you're either going to know that you've got too much work to do and you can tell someone, right? Or you've planned it out and you're okay to do it. Most of the time when people end up under a lot of pressure is because they haven't planned stuff out, right? And if you're kind of those people who don't plan stuff out and you get to the last minute and then suddenly you realize you've got all this stuff going on, then it's very stressful.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the things I do is like if whenever I have a deadline, I put a reminder in my calendar that says like this document is due this day, right? So when I'm looking at my calendar for the week or the next few weeks, I can see, okay, I've got these deliverables, I need to get these things done, and then it's not so bad because then I know that when I'm going to do it, how much time I've got to put in. Sometimes I'm going to put more hours in, and that's just again part of my role. But time management, that's the secret to it. I tell if you're the kind of person who's good at remembering stuff, great. If you're the kind of person who's not good at remembering stuff, write it down. Like create a to-do list. Because then you can see, okay, we've got all this work to do, and yes, I'm okay with this, or no, you know what, this is too much work and I need to go talk to someone. And this is the thing, you've got to go ask for help. But if you never write it down, if you're never really aware of all the things you're going to do, you're going to get to that last minute and you're going to get stressed. And then there's little you can do to help someone at that point. So,
yeah, of course. So, you weren't a VP since the beginning. How do you feel now? Do you feel more stressed being a VP than before when you had a lower position inside the company?
Yes. I think it's changed. So when I started with this organization, so I've been with the same company 12 years.
Wow, 12 years.
So yes, yeah. So when I started with them, I was like a system architect, but I had this is the work I need to do, and I knew it very well, and I could go do it. And I just had to worry about my little kind of box of work, right? And there's other people managing everything else. Now it's different because now I'm responsible for 50 people. I'm responsible for bringing revenue into the organization, and a lot of conversations. If things go wrong, ultimately it stops with me, right? Because I'm the person who's ultimately responsible for it. So definitely more stress. Again, my personality, I'm good with it though. I like the stress. I've had days when I've woken up at 4 a.m. and like my brain's racing away, and I'll go sit at my laptop for half an hour and just write stuff down. But like generally, it hasn't bothered me too much. I've been able to kind of cope with it. I think as it's slowly built up over time, that I've just had coping mechanisms. That's worked out well, but it's one of those individual things. Some people are very comfortable with the stress and they kind of thrive in it. Other people are very uncomfortable. So it's just a matter of like you need to look at the kind of personality you are and have a role that works within your personality and your kind of mental health type.
Okay, so you consider yourself that you like to work under pressure?
Yes, definitely. So like I'm known for kind of I thrive in stressful situations and stuff. I'm very comfortable kind of thinking on my feet. Again, just years and years of experience have kind of given me that confidence. So yeah, I like stress within reason.
So during these 12 years, you didn't have like the feeling to, like I feel so overwhelmed and I want to get out and run away. Like,
I've had moments where I feel very stressed, but I've always been able to kind of go to like my managers and say, look guys, I'm like stressed. This is just really stressing me out, and we'll sit there and we'll talk about it, and then we'll be able to kind of figure out. And that's one of the things I consider it lucky that our organization is very much about trying to figure stuff out. So like if they're not going to be like, well, like, hey, too bad. Right? there was a conversation like, well, what can we do? Who needs to get involved? I have always had a great relationship with my managers as well. Now I'm down to like 2 managers in the entire company, but over time I've always built good relationships and stuff. So just being able to talk to someone, my advice would be like, don't ever feel like you can't tell someone, right? Because if you tell someone, hey, look, I'm stressed or I'm struggling with this, they're gonna try to help. But if you don't tell anyone and you just keep it inside, it's just eating at you and makes it really hard for you. And I think that's been my kind of luck. Like I've always, over time, just when I've ever had bad stress, I've just been able to talk to someone about it. Then once you talk about it, you feel better about it, and you have a plan on how to, solve whatever issue you're kind of facing, and then that makes it better. But yeah, I've had stressful times as well. So.
Well, you're lucky because you feel back up at your bosses.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think you have to have a good relationship, both with your bosses, but also with your subordinates as well, people who report up to you. Is like, don't be afraid to have conversations, and you don't have to solve every problem, but maybe you can recommend someone else they can talk to help them solve the problem and stuff. So that helps.
Okay, thank you, Naeem. I really appreciate you taking your time.